Hello, 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 everybody. It's your girl Ashley, the Amateur Expert, coming to you live today for this episode of the Amateur Expert Podcast. Okay, we're here, we're back. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Super excited to have our guest Monet Everett on today. She was actually on a couple of months ago on Asking for a Friend, so I'm excited to have her on this segment so that we can see and talk about her career path, her idea of success, and the tips and motivators that she used along the way. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. And yeah, I'm super excited. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. As soon as we get Monet in here, we'll get started. I want to give you guys an update on Affirmed Armor. We did a photo shoot yesterday, and we are getting closer and closer to the launch. So I hope you guys are all following at Affirmed Armor on Instagram. We also just started a Facebook page. I haven't used Facebook in so long, but I'm trying to stretch myself and do what's best for the business. So I'm super excited for you guys to see that. Yeah, so let's see. What is, let's get Monet in. Hey Melissa, super excited. We're gonna need you to do, or not need you. I'd like to have you do a piece to write up on Affirmed Armor. I'm like super excited. I need to. Yes, wear it now. Wear it now. Let's do. If you have any of the merchandise, please wear it. Post it. I'm so excited. Okay, Monet's in the room, so let's get started. Happy Talk Tuesday. Hey Monet, how are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me.
I love to hear that you're so good. Most people say like, oh, I'm all right, whatever. So love the energy. Let's get started. So my
Yes.
dear Monet, thank you for being back on the show. You were one of the first guests to be on Asking for a Friend. So I'm super excited to have you back today to tell us about your career path and all of the exciting things that you have going on today. So um, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you're doing currently for work.
Sure. So yeah, I got to bring the energy because I woke up feeling not the greatest today. So I got to
Oh,
bring the energy. And like, are we hair twinning today?
I was literally gonna say I am here
Before
for
we get into
it.
the formalities, let's talk about the hair of the
Yes,
situation.
honey.
We didn't even plan this.
I felt like I needed to come correct today. You know, like sometimes I'm like, it's okay, it's whatever. But today I was like, let me make sure I put extra gel, extra shine, extra vavoom for you.
Oh no, you cute, you cute. Okay, all right. For those who don't know, I'm Monet Everett. I am a hairstylist who's been in the game almost 2 decades.
I
I
don't
work for
believe it.
a long time. Yeah, I work a lot with celebrities and brands, so I work more in the entertainment sector. I'm also a professional public speaker, so sometimes I may speak about diversity and inclusion within the beauty industry, as well as educating in the beauty industry. And I recently released my second book. Boom!
Hey, love the promotion. Yes,
Yes,
second
get
book.
out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way.
So
It's
important.
time for us to kick open these doors. And I realize that we have a lot of diversity and inclusion problems because these industries are so elusive. People simply don't have access. It's not
Mm.
that they don't have the talent, they don't have the access. So I thought back to when I first started, well, what hairstylist could I talk to? And there were none because there wasn't even freaking social media. So I figured,
Yeah.
let's work towards changing this.
I love that. Okay, so Monet, when you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up, and what was the motivating factor behind that?
Oh, the only thing any little girl would possibly ever want to be, which was a professional singer.
Yes.
Like, what
Okay.
else could you want to be? And it was like horrifying when I learned I couldn't sing.
Who
Horrifying.
was your favorite singer at the time? Like, who were you trying to emulate?
I don't know. I just wanted to be up there. I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe sometimes I might say Janet Jackson, and it worked because I couldn't sing. So like, it would have been great to be her, or some. And but then I found out I can dance. So it was like,
okay. You
yeah,
got to have one or the
yeah.
other.
it was hard. Sometimes it was Mary J. Blige, just CC Peniston. It was just like
Mm.
whoever was fly. Like I am far from a little girl, but I am still captivated with performers. So
I
yeah,
love
somewhere
that.
along those lines.
And so before you realized that that wasn't going to be your destiny, right? What did you think success was when you were younger, when you were achieving or not achieving, but sort of like chasing that dream? Like what was so exciting or enticing about that for you?
I read the questions, but I wanted to fill them when you asked me. And
Mm.
now that I think about it, I think success for me at that time was people stopping to listen to you, to hear what you had to
Mm.
say. Like they weren't telling you, oh, you think you're so smart or you think you're so cute. Like people would want to hear what you had to say and you could give them a feeling. And then,
Yeah.
when they left your show or turned the channel, they were like, girl, did you see this? Did you see what she wore? Did you see how she moved?
Yeah.
I think maybe that was power. And then I'll school you on the other two things I thought were power. Being a woman was red lips and big
Mm.
boobs.
Love that.
And so, you see, I kind of still aspire to that. And I'll save you from the rest of the view. But trust me, that don't make you a woman.
Look, I'm aware because I have neither, but here we are.
So,
Okay, so once you realized that you couldn't sing, and dance, because you said it, not me,
mhm.
tell me about your journey. How did you transform into this powerhouse of a celebrity stylist, or I'm sorry, hairstylist, a author, a public speaker? Like, what was that journey like for you?
It was full of ups and downs and
Mm,
loops. And I'm really giving this some thought when we're speaking. I think, I know I was always super opinionated. And the response I always got was like, if you can't do better, you shouldn't say anything. Or why you think you
mm,
know so much? Or, it was always
mhm,
something where I felt like, okay, I get that all of these people who are bigger than me are saying this, but I don't think it's right. I do
yeah.
think that I can be a child with opinions. I do think that given a little bit of education, I can do better. So, um, a lot of people in my family had not gone to college. So, since
Okay.
I was smart, they had decided I was smart enough to go to college, which is an absolute blessing. But I'm saying this to say there was no thought of doing anything
Hmm.
other than going to college. And I remembered hearing them say, like, how great it is to go to college on one hand, because that makes you whatever. But on the other hand, everybody's broke in college. And I was like, no, ma'am, the two cannot correlate for me.
Right, for
I
sure.
don't want to be smart and broke. I just don't
Amen.
understand how you can do both.
Amen. Hmm.
So I thought I would just do hair and makeup while I was in college to be able to support myself because all of these people with these wonderful opinions, none of them were paying my tuition.
Baby, let's talk
It,
about that.
isn't that funny? None of them were paying my tuition, but
Hmm.
I would have had my cosmetology license and graduated from high school with it, but my grandmother conspired with my high school counselor and they said I was too smart to take
Hmm.
cosmetology. But when I could have graduated high school my junior year or graduated high school with a cosmetology license my senior year, all of a sudden it was we'll let her take cosmetology. So I took cosmetology my senior year in high school, my freshman year in college, while
Okay.
I was going to school full time and interning at the radio station.
Love that. And what were you studying in school?
Communication, so
Okay.
radio and TV and public relations, things of that nature. And I enjoyed it, but school is not like working in the real world. You get
Mm-mm.
what I'm saying? So I was like, so towards the end of it, I said, okay, I'll get this degree, but I was really bummed my senior year in college and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And I heard a lady in the salon saying her biggest dream was to be a celebrity hairstylist. Never had I heard of this. There was no
Wow.
thought there was no thought process to me about the people on TV and
Yeah.
who did their hair.
Hmm.
There was no thought to me about the people on the magazines. So I think I was asking questions. I was 17 or 18. And I know I was like mesmerized. We still talk. I was like, what do you mean celebrity hairstylists?
Yeah.
Do they make more money?
Yeah. Mm.
Take photos of their work? Whoa, I just could not believe this. So that's my senior year. I did a lot of studying. I found out about what that entailed, at least, for the level for me to pursue it.
For sure.
When I graduated college, I gave my mama the degrees, and I said, I'm going to be a celebrity hairstylist.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's not how that works.
Oh,
That's,
but you
that's
had the goal and the dream, so
I
let's hear
had
more
the
about
goal and
it.
the dream, but that I felt like I'm going to tell everybody I have a college degree and they'll hire me. Ma'am, no one cares if you have a degree if you're a hairstylist. Like it
Mm,
doesn't specifically open up that door for you. Yes,
that's
you
a good
can
point.
use those skills, but
Hmm.
that's not what you went to school for, so it don't work that way.
For sure.
Yeah, so I learned a lot of tough lessons. I went back into the salon, became a salon manager, took a crap load of classes. A lot of people think that when you work a trade, you get your license and that's all that matters. No, your license only basically gives you license to really learn and practice. You're not prepared
I
to
see.
take on anything at that point. So I took a lot of classes. I volunteered on a lot of photo shoots, runway shows. Like I remember I was the key hairstylist for runway shows at clubs at night, because when people come to a club, of course they want to see a runway show and focus on the hairstylist. That's all they came for, right? But you make a lot out of what you have, and those were the
Yeah.
opportunities I had at the time, and it helped me to build my skill, my brand, work with all hair textures, and make connections. And that's the most important part. Look, you know how I go. If I'm on here talking, y'all can at least be getting some hearts, so Instagram know I'm worth listening to, at least that. So Ashley, know it was worth having me.
Absolutely. Hit us with some hearts, folks. So on your journey, what do you think what do you think was the biggest lesson?
Oh my God, so many lessons. So many lessons. I would say the biggest life lesson that I have to relearn every week is most of my problems started with this phrase. All I said was,
Ooh. Ooh. Let's talk about that.
girl, that's the problem. Let's talk about it too much. Clearly that's the problem. Or, I say that in jest. But when you don't know what to say or do, a lot of times you say or do the wrong thing. You get what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
Or when you don't understand, I hate to say your place, but sometimes it does come down to that. Sometimes it does come down to not reading the room,
mm,
or realizing God gave you two ears and one mouth. Like I just last year told my boyfriend, I was like, holy crap. I think I just realized what two ears and one mouth means. Not, of course, it means to
yeah,
listen more. But not only does it mean to listen more, it means to learn more. You can learn more when you literally cannot hear if you're talking when someone else is talking. So yeah,
that's a
that's
good
yeah.
point. So what is your idea of success today?
Well, my idea of success today is freedom to be able to do the things that make me feel good, the things that I
Mm,
want to do, which include giving back and helping other people. Like I'd say on a weekly basis, I get a DM or an email from someone who's like, you gave me this advice some years ago and it worked, or I saw you in passing and I asked you 3 questions and you stopped and answered them and I really used them. I think that it's a blessing to be a blessing.
for
So
sure.
that's success. My personal opinion, which may not be for everyone else, I don't have a family, but to me, that's success. To properly run a happy family that is
Hmm.
proud to be family. That would be a form of success for me. Another form of success would be to be able to pass down generational wealth
For
to my
sure.
family. Like my family did the absolute best they could with me, and their best was telling me to go to college.
Hmm.
That was They were unable to imagine any other life. Other
Yeah,
than that, to them, that was success. For me, I was so blessed to put myself through college that I'm blessed enough to know that there are other paths to
yeah,
success.
yeah.
And I think that it took experience to learn that. When I look at my nephews and they're like, or when I speak at cosmetology schools and people ask me, so in order to be good, I got to go to college, right? And I am able to, with confidence, say, that's not the case.
Right.
I'm blessed that I have degrees, but there are trades, there are associate schools, there's hands-on. And if you are blessed to learn early what you want to do, and God gives you the ability to focus and be disciplined enough to learn it, you can create your own. College is wonderful for
For
those it's
sure.
wonderful for.
For sure.
Um, but I can now look at that and see it's a blessing that I'm able to think outside of the box and even talk about supporting. Like, I haven't punched the clock in years.
I love that.
So prayerfully in 10 years, I'll have a family and be able to say I can stay home with my family or run my business from home, and I don't have to travel, or I don't have to have my family make do
Hmm.
because ends are short.
I
And I
love
hope
that.
I'm
Well,
not rambling, girl. You
well,
know
we
I
can
take a
we can
question.
we can we can touch and agree on that, that the
Touch
family
and agree, yes.
and
Touch and
the
agree,
success
absolutely.
is coming, and I'm looking forward to seeing you thrive in that
You as
arena in your
well.
life. Thank you, ma'am. So you talked about speaking at colleges and at hair schools and just in general. So what are some things that you learned in college while pursuing your degree that have helped you excel as a celebrity hairstylist? And that question came from the chat from Tiara.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
thought I
T.
saw something in there like that. Okay, so and I think she specifically said she was going to school for communications
Uh,
as well. I think so. Okay, communications. I love that my degree is in communications because the bottom line is, how do you speak to people? And I
mm,
have learned communicating is so networking is your number one job. No matter
yeah.
what you think you're doing, it's networking. And your number 1.5 job is being able to communicate. So learning how to hear what people are really saying. And
Hmm.
sometimes you got, and my minor was sociology, which is the study of groups.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to go real deep under what they're saying, because what they're saying doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'll give you a small example.
Sure.
I wasn't allowed to go get my hair done or wear makeup in school when I was lived in my mama's house. It just wasn't gonna happen.
Hmm.
She had her reasons, but then I overheard her boyfriend saying like he really didn't respect women, specifically that wore red lips. It reminded him of horse.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know. That have nothing to do with how that has anything to do with anything, but in his mind. So I can go and work with a client, and my focus is hair.
Hmm.
And you'd be surprised at things like you can pull up a hairstyle. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Why? My mama always told me I was too fat underneath there. But they're not
Mm,
going to tell you that in the beginning.
yeah.
Or don't put the part there. It draws too much attention. Don't put height here because that's considered a southern hick look. Like it and
Getting to the
because
bottom of things is so important.
the
And it
things that
helps you
they
to
want.
understand. Yeah.
And my communication comes in because I have to find a way to speak to them in a way that they feel comfortable with what I'm saying and they
Hmm.
don't feel attacked. Because if I just say, why? What's wrong with it?
Hmm.
Maybe their mama spoke to them that way. Maybe they
Yeah.
great, their grandmother that got saddled with them treated them that way. And no one can explain to you in that brief second why you're having a problem, but now you're having a problem getting across.
Yeah.
You know how they say like some people just don't mesh or just don't click, and it's
Yeah.
not for any particular other reason than you remind them of something that they don't like, or they
Yeah.
remind you of something that they don't like. And sometimes I got to break through all of that in moments, because if I'm given an allotted time to work with somebody, I
Hmm.
don't get to push that time back. I am
Yeah.
expected to make them happy within that allotted amount of time, period. So if I
Yeah.
got 5 minutes before they're supposed to be on that stage and they're back here telling me how they feel ugly, it's probably faster for me to break through their issue than it is for me to change the style.
Yeah. I love that.
Because
I
nobody
love that.
cares at the end why they
Hmm.
weren't happy. If they weren't happy and they're
Hmm.
not on stage on time, guess where I'm not? I'm not coming back. I'm not
Right.
booked again.
That's good. And so those are things that no one thinks about,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
people say like your stylist is like your therapist and things of that nature, your stylist and your bartender, usually your
Mm-hmm.
therapist. But the fact that you have the wherewithal to know that that's a part of your or making you stick out as,
Yeah.
as an awesome stylist. I love that. So you said that one of the lessons that you learned is a part of communication, right? Like I all I said was, or so
Yes, that. Ooh.
um can you tell me something else that you have learned or you're still in the process of learning that you wish you have learned sooner?
Well, that takes up a massive amount of my time learning how to shut up. Uh, Let me think of some more stuff. Could you hit me with some good questions? Something else that I wish I would have learned. Oh, I mean, now all of a sudden I'm flooding with stuff. You can't make anybody do anything, period.
Hmm.
I don't care what or how. You cannot make anybody do anything. You are far better off getting on someone's good side and having them want to do whatever they want to do, but you cannot force them. You can't force somebody to pay something they're supposed to pay. You can't force somebody to treat you a different way. Like, you simply can't make anyone do anything. And what you'll realize is that most of the lessons I'm telling you about are more soft skills rather than
Hmm.
hard skills,
Yeah,
because most of us can go to school and learn hard skills.
yeah,
Those soft
absolutely.
skills will get you every time.
They're so
Every time.
important. So important. Someone in the chat asked if you can talk about a cosmetology graduate looking to assist in the entertainment industry.
Oh, I absolutely can talk about that. So, um, as I said, I've been in this game almost 20 years, and in the beginning, I didn't see the importance of assisting entertainment, celebrity, working on Fashion Week shows. I just thought, well, I'm so great, I don't have to.
Mm,
Wrong again. Whatever lessons you need to learn that you will learn from assisting will wait for you, whether you assist in year 1 or year 10. So when I moved to New York at year 10, I got to assist and learn those lessons. But probably what you're asking is, how can I get to the point where I can
mm,
assist?
yeah,
So, and Get Out of Your Own Way, we go over that in detail. We
love that.
talk about how you prepare your work so that someone will find it attractive. We talk about how you reach out to these artists. I tell you exactly what to say in the DMs. People, I think, because they seriously do not know what to say the craziest stuff to me. Like, I put up a post with India Moore from Pose the other day, and someone wrote the comment. They literally wrote the comment, "Oh,
I'm
this is my
nervous.
fave. You should have brought me to work with her."
Hmm.
So what you're saying is you would have happily taken my job. This is, and I'm sure they didn't mean it that way. I think they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Or the next time you need me so you can do your client, you should book me and fly me out.
Hmm.
If I didn't need you for any of my clients before, why would I need you for this client now? And I'm not even going to tell you about getting flued out. I'm trying to get flued out too.
That part.
Like, it doesn't work that way. So I specifically tell you how to slide in their DMs,
Love that.
what to say to them to get their attention, and how to direct the conversation. I even talk about, for those of you who specifically want to work with celebrities, who to reach out to that book
Mm,
celebrities.
yeah,
Key
that's
point,
important.
it's not the celebrity. So
Yeah.
while you're DMing them like crazy and tagging them like crazy, they're probably looking at it and they don't pick you. Like, they're not the ones in charge of that. They get to decide if you come back, but they're generally
Mm,
not the ones in charge of the initial booking, because many times the celebrities themselves don't even know what an artist should portray to know that they're a great artist. We're not talking about just good hair, because it's a
love
lot
that.
more than that. So the
Love
people
that.
who are responsible for this, and I give you a list in the book, Get Out of Your Own Way, available at the Monet Life. The
Love that.
people responsible for this know what to look for. They know what skills to look out for. They know what testimonials to look out for. They know what
Mm,
representation to look out. They know these things. So yes, the gatekeepers are the ones who make these decisions, because I can tell you this, every celebrity on their own has booked a hair, makeup, or wardrobe artist and regretted it.
mm.
There are reasons why other people have this job.
So what I'm hearing is that you need to buy the book. Uh, and so we'll definitely have that information in the show notes. Who has been your favorite celebrity client?
You know, I work with so many that have been amazing. Um, since people will not let me get around this answer, I have to give you a few favorites.
Sure.
I really like working with Lily Mar Hernandez, who's a Disney girl. Um, who else makes me? Dominique Fishback, who just started Project Power with Jamie Foxx.
Love that.
Emily Tosta. I love her. She's Latin and Latin down to the socks. So I love when my
Yes,
clients are like super ethnic. Brenda Song, Asian down to the socks. Like I love my
love
clients
that.
like that. Dominique, who I mentioned, because she loves to show her natural 4C texture. So
Mhm.
everything we do on her is using her 4C texture. Um, when I work with Viola Davis, she hit me with so many life gems in that one day that I said, if I never work with you again, I will always hold these life gems that you taught me. So I am blessed that I have worked with some really great people. Of course, I have worked with not great people, but how would that benefit me to discuss that now?
But I think we don't know. Yeah, it's not something that we need to discuss, but I'm certain that it taught you tons of lessons for yourself and your
Mm-hmm.
business. And so
And one
I'm,
of the lessons, sorry to
mm,
cut you off, one of the lessons it taught me was if I get booked so often with the clients I love to work with, there won't be time for the clients I don't love to work with.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's good. That's a great perspective to have. Tell me this. Um, what are some of the um, tips and motivators that you use to keep you going?
Tips and motivators. I probably just facts that I tell myself. I've never been good with working for anyone else. So if I don't keep this moving, I'm going to have to go back and do that.
Mm,
I didn't love having a roommate. If I don't keep making my own money, I might have to get a roommate. Those things are enough to scare the daylights out of me because I am not roommate or employee material. Let me tell you. Any other time, they've always told me, like, you are meant to lead and be on your own. And I'm like,
mm, you're right.
that part. Other motivators, like, it sounds corny, but that statement that's been going around the last few years on my ancestors' wildest dreams, that
Hmm.
really does motivate me. I don't have any tattoos, and I'm thinking about that one because it really does motivate me. When I think about um, my maternal grandmother, how she always encouraged me to say whatever I felt needed to be said as long as it was respectful.
Yeah.
Or when I look at relatives or ancestors, their past, the decisions that they made, and I
Hmm.
knew that many times they made those decisions out of desperation and not having other options. I'm like, that'll never be me. I just want
Yeah.
my family to have pride for them to say, you know, Monet Everett, that was my grandmama.
I
And you
love
know,
that.
I don't know. It's like weird stuff that I see where they'll be like, Monet Everett's granddaughter would never do that.
I love that. It's all about that legacy,
Yes.
and the impact that you're leaving. And you've spoken to that as we've gone along this interview. And another thing that I think is interesting is that when you were younger, your idea of success was sort of to make an impact. And
Yes.
and although your technical definition of your idea of success has changed, sort of, it's you're still doing what you sought out to do when you were younger. So I love when that connection happens.
Absolutely.
Um, you're also in a cool intersection where you went to school for communications and you are a public speaker. You went to cosmetology school and you are a celebrity hairstylist, right? And you've written these books. So tell us what made you decide to become an author after you were already doing all of these great things.
There's always room for more. We definitely need to have multiple streams of income. I believe what's not talked about often is a hairstylist has a hard life physically,
Mm,
mentally, and emotionally. So we know that it's hard standing up, but you'd be surprised the amount of issues hairstylists deal with, from dislocating parts of their spines and their shoulders, wrists, bladder cancer, just a
mm,
lot of different things are rampant in the hairstyling community. And you're working hard on a hustle because most creatives don't realize that the business is so important. So you're always in turmoil mentally and emotionally. Like, just think about stuff like, if my sister is getting married, do I get to go because I work on Saturdays and that's when I make all my money?
mm-hmm.
You know? So I just didn't want to be that way. And I started a YouTube channel many years ago in my first book. Stunning Braids, a publisher found me, and we created the book. It's 25 DIY hairstyles to teach you how to braid your own hair. And there was nothing on the market like it at that time because I had all hair textures in
Yeah.
the book and I had different ethnicities. And it was a sad realization that even in 2016, the market still was not ready for an integrated hair book like that.
Wow.
And people would come up to me and they would buy the book, but they wanted to know about my career and how I got to where I am. So I had put off that book for so many years because I was like, what do I have to say? Like, there's so many other people out there with things to say. And then the world closed down and COVID happened,
Mm.
because I kept saying I didn't
Wow.
have time. And God was like, oh, let me help you. I'll
Yeah.
find some time for you.
Here's some time for you.
Yeah,
Lots
so
of
I
time.
thought it would be like a 10-page download, like 10 tips on becoming a celebrity hairstylist. But as I wrote, it kept getting longer and longer and longer. And then I realized that because I didn't know what to do, I made so many mistakes. So that's
Mm.
why I named it Get Out of Your Own Way. Because no, you're not responsible for racism, misogyny, or not knowing exactly what to do. All of that is not on you.
Mhm.
But let's start pulling away some pieces. Let's start creating more access and giving you the steps to know what to do when you find this access. What I find is, like, I make a joke out of, but I'm kind of serious. When opportunity knocks, most people don't know what to do with it.
Correct.
Get out of your own way. It will help you to lay out some actionable steps on knowing what to do to create your own opportunities and what to do to be ready. If I don't know, because folks don't be hearing me. If Cardi B was scrolling through Instagram right now, because
Mm.
she got some time on her hands
She
today.
has a little bit of time, for sure.
You better know these celebrities are on. So I'm just going to use her for example. If she was
Okay.
scrolling through, right, and she stopped at one of your amazing images,
Hmm.
what would happen from there? Is she
Mm.
going to go to your page and see more amazing images? So I want to point out one thing I just pointed out. I didn't say amazing hairstyles. I didn't say
Yeah.
amazing makeup. I said an amazing
Image.
image.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's a full package.
So is she going to see one amazing image on your grid, or is she going to scroll and be, oh my God, wow, look, we've got to have her? Or is she going to say, okay, I looked at 30 images and 5 were amazing. That
Hmm.
is feeling, okay?
Yeah.
Most of the time, hairstylists, makeup artists don't know what to put up. They don't know how to make it look great. They're putting, pictures of their baby in there with pictures of what they ate. Yes, Cardi got pictures of her baby. She Cardi.
She's,
You're
yeah.
not yet.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
People don't know how to build themselves up
Hmm.
to make people want them.
Love
So
that.
when you make mistakes, you end up having to work twice or 3 times as hard, because if Cardi has already come across your Instagram and it ain't right, and then somebody presents you to her later,
Mm.
she's more likely to remember,
I
I've
wasn't
seen
here
this
for that.
before.
Yeah.
Don't want her.
Hmm. That's good. That's so good. And so is your book just for people looking to get started, or get out of their way in the hair industry, or all arenas?
So
Or
it's targeted towards hairstylists because we always get left out for all of these
mm,
books. There are very
sorry.
few books on the market for us, but any beauty professional especially will learn from it. I'm being told by other people who buy it in other industries, like I've even had realtors buy it and they were like, oh my God, I did
Mm,
not know to do these things. I didn't know who to reach out to. I didn't know what they were looking for. I didn't know what it meant to have great images. In 2020, all of us need great images to show what we do. You're running a podcast. You didn't just grab any selfie of me and throw it on there. You created a beautiful graphic to draw attention so people wanted to
thank you.
hear what we had to say.
Thank you. But yeah, no, you're right. It's so important. And I think now that more people are home, there's really
Yeah.
no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
No excuse. Well, this has been amazing. I've learned more about you than I thought I would. And I also think that your goal of leaving an impact was achieved in this. You helped some some young lady, and I'm certain she's going to buy your book. Do we have another book coming out anytime soon, or what can we
I'm
expect?
thinking on it. I'm going to go live in a little bit and I'm going to be asking people what do they want from me.
Mm,
I really enjoyed doing this book. It was hard work, but to see, I think I'm up to like 150 sold.
love that.
Excuse me. Hey, Lauren, I see you guys. So, I'm like, wow, people want to hear it. People want this information. So I think I'm going to start taking more polls to see if people want it. And one of my favorite parts of this book is that it's instantly available when you go to the MonetLife.com. You don't have to worry about it being shipped. You just get it and you download it and you can
Love
read
that.
it right away. And I'm like, I'm loving this internet, how we can take advantage of all this stuff and how we can reach people directly.
Hmm.
I feel like the old person back in my
Back
day,
in
but
my day, yeah.
back in my day, there was no social media, and if you could find an artist or a gatekeeper, they weren't letting you know who
Hmm.
they are, and you couldn't reach out to them. It was very elusive, similar to I hear Greeks talk about pledging. It was like you want something really bad, but you can't tell people you want it.
Yeah.
So how do you get it?
Hmm. Yeah, so you're giving us the tips and the tools, and I'm super excited for your success and also what's coming next for you. We've already touched and agree on the family. Can't wait to see
Yes.
those images. Quick question: do you think that uh, you should have a personal and business page?
Yes, and I talk about this in great detail. Monet does not have separate, okay? Because Monet came up in a time where we only had business, okay?
Hmm.
But let me tell you something. I have seen like there's some hairstylists and stuff out there who like love to twerk and show pictures of their kids and do this, that,
Mm.
and the other. I say live your life. If rotating romantic suitors is your thing, you like to ride them like a carousel, live
Hmm.
your life
Love it.
on a separate page.
Love it.
So, okay, you're gonna make me go into a small story.
Love the stories.
There was, and this really happened. So, Lord Jesus, if you're on here or you know who I'm talking about, please don't point them out because that's not the point. I had an international client, and she would come to New York, and we would do photo shoots.
Okay.
And very wealthy woman, and she eventually took me back to her home country. But every time she would come, I would have a makeup artist do her makeup.
Okay.
And the makeup artist, in my opinion, started doing weird stuff like showing up way early to the appointments and stuff. Like not a little girl, I mean 3, 4, 5 hours early.
Okay.
And I knew it was to try to get her attention. So now
Uh,
the international client has decided to take us to her home country. So the conversation started, and then the makeup artist is no longer on the emails. And I just said, oh, maybe they booked her separately. When I get there, she never came, and I asked the client why, and the client said, I noticed she must have been upset because over the last few months, every day she's posting and she's drinking. This was a client in the Middle East who they don't allow drinking. She's aware that people drink because she travels, but she said they don't allow drinking in this country, and I would be a fool to bring somebody over here who maybe has an alcohol problem and has to tell everybody that she drinks.
hmm.
I was there for 10 days. This person missed out on an international trip
Wow.
of 10 days. And maybe the client might have saw her being a little shady too, with showing up early for the appointments. But my point is you never know what people are thinking of you. So why
Yeah.
give them extra ammunition?
I love
That
that.
trip was life changing. I
I can
never
imagine.
thought I would be flown across the world
Love
for my
that.
talent. I just didn't know it was possible and not at my level at the time. And the client said, Monet, what I see of you, you post your work, you post professionalism. The personal stuff that you post is like on your Insta stories, and it might be food or family. I love people that love family. I'm big
Hmm.
on family, as you guys can tell. So I try my hardest to attract that clientele. Listen, if you like to bust it down and you live a P Valley way of life, that's wonderful. But if it's not connected to your hair and makeup, maybe
Yeah.
put that on a separate page. And let's be clear, if you are doing hair and makeup for the scrippers, shout out to you. Totally not anti that life. But let's take some photos like this You get what I'm saying? Without everything hanging out. You
So
would be
important.
surprised. Maybe the first lady might have wanted to book you because you do amazing hair and makeup. Now she can't bring herself to book you. What
Yeah.
if the head of the PTA? What if the freaking head of the NAACP wants to book you?
Yeah,
You'd
no,
be
that's so important.
surprised. I
People are
had a
watching.
People are watching your page. They are. I had a really big client tell me she was offended because in my signature I had a naked lady. I was like, a naked lady? What? I couldn't comprehend what she was talking about. I had a woman who her hair was behind her like this,
Yeah.
and she didn't have on a shirt, but she showed all you could see was the hair. And the woman literally said, no, there's no straps or nothing. She's naked. In a million years, I didn't think anybody
Wow.
would look at that picture and see a naked woman. And I'm like, well, she had on pasties in the front. Nothing in the front was shown.
Yeah.
The bare back offended her. So
You
yes,
never know.
I was irritated at first. And then I said, is this particular image so important to me that it's worth arguing with her about?
That's good.
It wasn't. I had other great images. Switch it out. Always got to be ready to switch up that game. Now, I kept it on my website, and on my website, you might see a little nipple in there too, because it's under artistic work.
I was gonna say it's artistic for sure.
Under artistic.
Now, did you stay working with that client? Was she a retained client? Okay, yeah. So you
One of my
didn't
top
want to
clients.
risk that, right? If you would have
Yeah.
stuck to your guns and said, no, this is the image, blah, 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 then she might not have called you back. So that's an
Yeah.
awesome story.
Now, me being me, I had to explain it. And when she was unmoved, I said, but now that you say it that way, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and slide that image out of the book. There were so many out of my signature. There were so many other amazing images that I have in my book. So it was like, why not just go to something else that shows my beautiful hairstyling skills that didn't make her, feel any type of way. But she's one of my top clients. I would attribute thousands of dollars a year to just her. You want a different image when I email you? Okay, boo.
No problem.
No problem. It didn't hurt me. No problem.
No problem. I love that. Okay, so we are wrapping up, and I have the signature question that I ask everybody. But prior to asking you that, I have a personal question, a selfish question almost.
Okay, take your time. Let me grab my Tito.
Yeah, take your tea, take a
Tito,
tea
not
time, sis.
Tito's. Tito, not Tito's.
Hey, no judgment if it was, no judgment. So in this quarantine time, I have not been able to get my hair done the way I want to. LA has been shut down. You hear me? And so I've been doing the wash and goes and all of the things of this nature. But what I have found is that as my hair gets longer, I don't know why this is, the wash and go like the next day looks almost like trash. So what are sleeping tips for wash and goes? Pineapple doesn't work for me anymore because it's overflowing. So please help me.
Okay, so probably putting more product on your hair and really letting it set down hard. Do you section and take small micro sections? So you want to start with fours, and then so that right there, that's going to make a major difference. Go through like an inch at a time.
Okay.
I am Mrs. Jackson said, please help her. Oh.
That's my roommate. We're just going to ignore her.
Okay. I'm like, oh, don't be like that.
We're just going to ignore her.
Go through and take micro sections and layer each product. So you're starting with 4, and then like you'll start going through like and do this much from root down, this much from root down, root to tip, not just to throw it in your hair and shake it out and go. If you have a sit under dryer, if you have a sit under dryer, take your time and sit under it. You want to dry your hair down till it looks almost like oodles and noodles, like, because that's a set. So people are not thinking about, remember back in the day when you would go get a roller set? It was those hard curls and then they washed them out and they got soft?
Yeah.
You put something in your hair that makes it get hard. Like a lot of people like creams, if that works for you. I end up needing gel because my hair is really soft, and gel kind of holds it and reinforces.
Okay.
Let it dry that way and then sleep with it in a pineapple. So the
Okay.
next day when you're taking it down, there's room to shake it out and there will still be product left on it. That's probably the easiest way. You might need a harder hold product, like some things that I'm using that I like is like the Weedad anti-humidity gel. I like that a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
I've seen other people that can put shea butter and get a hell of a twist out, or the Aveda anti-humectant and get a hell of a, the way my hair is set up, I always need a gel and I always need to make it really hard in order to get any type of hold. But like I said, don't think about oodles and noodle head like that. Think about back in the day, those roller sets. Those
Yeah.
rollers look crazy right when you took them out. And then she got to brushing and styling and you was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I need to take more time. I need to do it in sections. I need to let it dry. So don't do the air drying. I need to sit under a
No,
dryer.
try. Well, I would say sit under the dryer. I would start there because we want to see if the products that you're using are working for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Good point.
And sometimes air drying, it just doesn't give you the same thing. So this is going to tell you, okay, these products are working, or I got to find a new routine.
Love that. Thank you.
No
Uh,
problem.
TT asked, how should us naturals be dealing with our hair during quarantine? I've been seeing tons of single strand knots.
Okay, so single strand knots, baby, you got to trim your hair. Most states, not all, salons are open again. Go in and get you a cut. It's been a
Okay,
while, get
that's
a
what it
cut.
is.
For me, like my hair is in braids, like big braids or twists until I go on camera. Quarantine told you leave your hair alone and live your life, not worried about hair, and I believe in that.
Love that.
Protective styles are what I would go to because I can't really tell you how to wear your hair, but protective styles are the move.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. And so, although you answered my question, it was, um, you taught me a little bit about, a little bit about a lot, but I'm gonna ask for the people, right? The general public. That was selfishly for me. So, as you know, I'm the amateur expert. I know a little bit about a lot. So, could
Yeah.
you please share with me a random fact, a random tidbit of information that I can say, Monet taught me this?
Oh, ooh. See, I should have read all the questions down to the answer. Okay,
That
hold
was
on.
the last one.
I should see.
You've got so many, I'm
I
certain.
do. Okay, so Monet taught you that having a skill is the minimum requirement. What's important
Mm,
are the communication, marketing, and business skills that go along with it.
love that. And that, my friends, is how we're closing out this show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to have all of Monet's information in the show notes. Buy her book, stream her or watch her YouTube, follow her, watch her lives, and get your entire life. I will be back to report the air dry versus the sitting under the dryer, and I will let you know how that goes. Thank you again for everyone who tuned in. We'll be back on Friday with Tanya for How Did I Get to Speak on the Main Stage at Essence. Can't wait. Monet,
Ooh,
also,
I'll be tuning into that because
tune
I want to know. I
in.
want to be on the main stage at Essence
Baby,
too.
Tanya B. Ball is on it. So let's be still for a few seconds just to have a good screenshot for the for posting, and then we're good to go. Thank you again, everyone who's listening, and we're going to smile in now. Perfect. Everyone have a good
Girl, you
night,
were so
and we
still.
will
I thought
see
it
you
froze.
soon. You have to because otherwise, like when you go through with everyone, you look
They play too many
crazy.
games with them. So yeah, and send me that photo. Thank you for having me. Y'all check me out at SimoneLife.com.
Perfect. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.